I'm currently balancing on my motorbike. I've got a break in my 14-hour shift at work. How are you all doing today? Hope it's good. Look, it's gonna look like I'm on call actually. I've got people from my work on a bench over just behind you, and they're gonna think I'm talking to someone. I mean, I am, but really I'm just talking to myself, but that's neither here nor there. Look, I want to talk to you, and this topic I can make a million videos about, to be honest, but it's something we all have to accept. And that's that we're all capable of a lot of evil. We're all capable of doing terrible things. We all have what I like to call a shadow. A shadow that consists of all our dark thoughts, our dark potential. When you have those impulsive thoughts to do things, to be selfish, to be jealous, to be greedy, to be aggressive, that is all you. And the one thing that I don't like about this generation, and I've said it before in a little rant video, one of the earlier ones on my channel, is how insane this generation is, because we all are so obsessed with condemning others for making the littlest of mistakes, like cancel culture. And we don't want to believe that there is evil within us. We are so sure that back in the times when people had slaves or hung people even, that we wouldn't have done that. But it's most likely that if we were brought up in those circumstances, we would have thought the same and done the same awful things. But we don't want to believe that we have that darkness inside us, but we do. Every human being, you watching this right now, you have evil inside of you. And I'm going to tell you why that's a good thing. The evil that you have inside of you can help you achieve not just your goals but greatness, and can push you further than you're willing to push yourself. First of all, you have to accept the fact that the evil's within you. You have to understand it. Go to the darkest corners of your mind and accept that humanity will always come coupled with this evil side. And then you can use it. I'll give you an example. This is stereotypically within men, but sometimes, and I'm going to be honest here, and a lot of people won't be honest with you like this on the internet, but I sometimes have dark, competitive thoughts of wanting to overtake people, dominate them. And I power this into the gym. I see someone lifting heavier than me and I respect them. But I say to myself, I'm going to fucking overtake them. And that darkness drives me into going to the gym more. And yet inside it's a very negative thing, but it transforms into a positive thing on the outside. Recently at work, I've almost made this like internal mode. It's quite cringy, I call it like demon mode or something. You don't have to be as cringy as me. But essentially, the last video that I did in my break, called Get Over Yourself, I then had the worst shift of my life after that. And the manager had a word with me about how if I don't improve, it's basically sink or swim, I'm going to be out. And instead of letting it kill me, I used that anger and resentment and self-hatred and I channeled it into this like competitive. I was like, I'm not only going to be better, but I'm going to be the fucking best in this job in like a few months now. And now whenever I'm tired, I just let all that anger go to the back, and even when my body gives up, my mind keeps going. And that's because I've spent years embracing my shadow. I used to not do that. When I was 18, I actually did the complete opposite. I've got a very creative mind. And one time I did this thing where I'd push all my evil, I guess, into the back of my mind, and not embracing it, I try and separate it from myself. Accepting your shadow as a part of you is great, and using it is great, but I used to try and separate it from myself. So I had myself, and I also made this character version of me as a joke, sort of. And I gave that a name, and I tried to separate it from my personality and put it at the back of my mind. I thought all the negative parts of me were in this character, and who I actually was the good side of me, right? We know this is not true. We are everything we are, including the bad. But what ended up happening over time is my brain made it more and more real as I tried to make this gap further and further. And I would hardly ever show any evil in real life, but it would build up internally to the point that sometimes in first year uni, when I was supposed to be spending a month getting to know people, I'd get really blackout drunk. I don't do this anymore, but I'd get blackout drunk, and this version of me would come out. All this pent up, this character I made became real when it started becoming dangerous. And then from then on, I quit drinking for a month, and I went inwards, and I learned to accept my shadow. And to this day, I am in complete awareness of what I'm capable of as a human being, of my negative thoughts. And now I've grown to the point that I can use it, and it can actually make me better. This isn't something you can do straight away. Learning to use your shadow is a mastery technique. I'm not even there when it comes to being a master. If you see a cut, I just dropped my phone. Anyway, what I was saying, I'm not even there when it comes to being a master. But if you spend time meditating, understanding what you're truly capable of, eventually you will be able to use the darkest parts of yourself to make beauty on earth. Use anger and aggression and hatred and rage and competitiveness in the gym, toxic competitiveness. Use spite and jealousy to better yourself. And what will happen is, as long as you keep it internally and you learn to make that distinction, you can channel your negative dark energy into positive energies externally, and you can go further than you've ever done before, and you can take people further than they've ever done before. As a human being, your brain is your most powerful resource, and if you learn to utilize it to the best of your ability, you are unstoppable. With that being said, go forth, accept your shadow, and say less, do more. I'm getting back to work.